Hello there, welcome to Yearly Reviews, the weekly web series reviewing the video games that I played for the year of 2020 because I had nothing better to do during a pandemic. So without further ado, let's jump right into this week's review. What Remains of Edith Finch is one of the best games I played in 2020 and has even become one of my favourite games period. If you haven't played it already, what are you doing? The only real negative I have was that the game felt too short for its own good. But hold up, you may ask. This isn't what the title of the video said. You clickbaited us. Shut up, I'll get to the game in a second. The reason I bring up What Remains of Edith Finch is that in the game you come across the room of a character named Milton, which is pure white and decorated with stains of black paint. And I only just realised that this is actually an in-joke between the developers, Giant Sparrow, as it references their previous game, the Unfinished Swan. The Unfinished Swan tells the story of a little boy named Monroe. Monroe's mother was a painter, said to have painted 300 works of art in her lifetime, but unfortunately she unexpectedly passed away, leaving Monroe an orphan. But the orphanage tells Monroe that he is allowed to keep one of her paintings and he chooses what he believes to be her favourite one, a painting of a swan without a neck. But during the night, Monroe is shocked to find that the swan somehow has escaped the canvas and has gone missing. He is now travelling through a strange world where things only take shape when he throws ink at it, all while learning the story of a lonely king, voiced by Terry Gilliam of all people. Yes, that Terry Gilliam.
I realized something. I wasn't sad that it was all gone. I had fun making all that stuff. I would have done it anyway. And then, somehow I knew that when I woke up, all my work really would be destroyed. And that's when you showed up.
I like the general atmosphere of this game. It certainly has a... how would I describe this? A sort of nostalgic children's book feeling, I guess. Like, it sort of feels like if this was adapted into a book of sorts instead of a game, it's probably one that I remember along the same lines of books such as The Very Hungry Caterpillar or The Gruffalo. You know what I mean? The game is also creative and charming, which is prevalent in the world, plot, and, like I just said 5 seconds ago, the atmosphere. The ways you traverse across the world is also creative. For example, there's one type of paint where you become a mini architect by extending the size and width of a platform that you can make. That's neat. The main problem I really have with the Unfinished Swan is how repetitive and restricted the gameplay can get. To get around and progress, you need to constantly fire ink at everything, and I mean everything. And while it looks good, what ends up like this in the game becomes this in real life. As you can see, we are breaking past new ground here. The world also makes you often stop in places due to platforms you can't really see the first time and the different kinds of paint. While creative, they are a real hassle to control. The main paint I have a gripe with this being the plant paint, as I call it. You have to fire at certain points and cracks in the background, otherwise the plants can't grow. But you need the plants to grow so you can get to different places, otherwise you're fucked. Can you see why this was annoying to me? So, funny story. I only really found out that the Unfinished Swan was connected to What Remains of Edith Finch immediately after I finished playing, like the second I dropped my controller down. And when I connected the dots, I just thought, oh yeah, I guess they are connected. And also, I have a mate of mine who we'll call Bish. So Bish played for like 10 minutes or so, and he absolutely fucking hated it because he couldn't get past like the first minute or so of gameplay, and he didn't like Edith Finch as well. Meanwhile, I got through it and liked both games after playing. There's no real point to this, I just thought I'd share it. So in conclusion, I like the Unfinished Swan. I don't think it's creative as Giant Sparrow's previous game, but it's still a good game in its own right. It's creative and it certainly has its own charm. Hey there, it seems you made it to the end of the video. If you liked what you saw, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe for more reviews in the future. If you want to see earlier reviews, you can check out a playlist on my channel which has every review thus far. Also, feel free to go onto my Twitter, which has a thread of tweets showing which games I'm reviewing for this series in under 250 characters. And as always, thanks for watching.